Good afternoon, I'm Bob Weir, and I'm here with another interview of candidates running for office in the local elections on May 7th. My guest today is Copper Canyon resident Dr. Timothy Larson, who is running for election to the Place 3 seat on the Copper Canyon Town Council. Thanks for being here, Timothy.
Thanks for having me.
If you would please begin by telling our viewers something about yourself, including your profession, community service, etc.
Sure. I moved to the Copper Canyon Highland Village area about 10 years ago. A little bit of a country traveler. Utah, Ohio, North Carolina, ended up in Texas. Loved it here, have loved the Highland Village, Flower Mound, Copper Canyon area. I'm a big runner also. I know we talked a little bit before the program. I'm a big runner too. Some marathons and some cycling. And a lot of that took me right through Copper Canyon, and I just really love the area, love the openness of it. And so we moved there a couple years ago and have found a wonderful home for our family, 3 children, all in the middle school, high school ages, so it's a busy time of life for us. And yeah.
Running is great exercise, isn't it?
It's fun.
That's amazing. It's wonderful. I'm telling you. As we talked a little before, I used to be a runner for many years, and now I'm a walker.
Hey.
All right, because at some point your joints start to go, and the knees start to go on you. But I'm thankful I can still do a fast walk.
There you go. Copper Canyon is lovely, lovely areas to walk.
Oh yeah,
no shortage there.
As is Flower Mound. We have some wonderful areas here. Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this: if elected, what would be your priorities on the Copper Canyon Council?
Thanks. Number one priority would be the acreage, the minimum acreage for lots. I put that on my sign as the number one issue I think that faces most of the citizens right now. Since its inception in 1973, Copper Canyon's had a very open feel with large acre lots as a minimum requirement. That's helped with the low density development, which is right now really unique in the Metroplex. The Metroplex is really kind of coming around to all areas. It keeps pushing north, keeps pushing out towards our area. And Copper Canyon is one of the very few areas that have a lot of land that could be potentially developed into some higher density houses. So I really think that most citizens of Copper Canyon are very concerned with the development. We'll grow, we'll continue to change, but I think we want to control that change and we want to have a say in how that process plays out. And that's the number one reason I'm running.
And is there a minimum acreage for a home in Copper Canyon?
It has been 1 acre. That has been the minimum. There is now 2 new developments where that acreage minimum size has not been followed. The Vickery homes across 407, most of the Copper Canyon's north of 407, but there's now one on south of 407 that's developed into less than 1 acre lots, and then there's been proposals for a new one which is currently, I believe, still in some sort of passing phase that sparked a pretty good debate this past year amongst the citizens. So I really want to hopefully kind of settle this issue, if elected to town council, so that we don't have to kind of recreate the wheel every time we have a new developer who wants to come in or someone wants to sell their land or have the option of doing what they want to do with their land moving forward, that we do have a pretty standard for our community.
And you do have a master plan, right?
Mm-hmm.
But master plans are known to be changed over the years, so it's hard to call them a master plan, but I guess
it is.
I guess it's a master plan until it's changed into another master plan. But in any event, are there other significant issues facing Copper Canyon right now?
There's 2 that come to mind. One is the flooding issue. There was a large study done that kind of demonstrated some of the flooding concerns around Copper Canyon. Some of the uniqueness of Copper Canyon in being a more open space compared to its surrounding areas. Those surrounding areas, such as Lantana, the Highland Village that comes up close, some of those new developments keep pushing some of the water flow into Copper Canyon, where now there's just more water in certain areas and we have flooding issues. There's a couple of bridges that need to be redone. And this is going to be a decent project here. There's a need to look at a local, state, county, maybe even federal, monetary resources to try and figure out how we can control some of this flooding that typically happens around this time of year once the rains start coming.
And with the flooding comes deterioration to the bridges and areas like that,
Mm-hmm.
lowlands.
Yeah, and certain citizens' properties too are much more vulnerable than others. So.
And the Flower Mound Council, the Copper Canyon Council, I'm sorry, I just did it.
That's okay.
And the Copper Canyon Council, they handle those issues, issues of flooding, they can do something about it.
Yes. Now, I think the solution will be much bigger than the city, but someone needs to take ownership of this and start to work on this. And until, it's the city's job to bump it up to the next level and to keep it going. So if we're not being the squeaky wheel, no one's going to give us the grease, so to speak.
Sure.
So this is a problem that our citizens are going to face, and there's avenues and channels that we need to start looking at, that we need to start actually making some decisions on.
Yeah, that's why it's important for people to get involved in their communities, really. I mean, the best communities around here, I'm sure the best communities in the country, are those where residents are involved. Know what's happening, get out and vote, get out, go to meetings, make sure you know what's happening in your town, because towns can get ruined.
They can. We have a beautiful thing. We don't want to ruin it. We want it.
Exactly.
We want to keep Copper Canyon how it is, and once you start walking down certain paths, you start developing, higher density housing. You can't walk that back.
Mm.
So now is the time to keep that master plan as we want it.
Are there, to your knowledge, are there many large landowners looking to sell to developers?
That's a great question. I don't know if there's a large number. I know there are some, and I believe those individuals have a right to decide when and how they want to sell their land. And so this year there might not be many. Maybe next year there's some more, and in the next 5-10 years I'm sure there will be more. The unique thing about Copper Canyon is we have some landowners that have a large amount of land rather than just some moderate sized amounts of land. So when they do want to sell their property, there should be a plan in place so they know what's expected of who they might sell it to and who might develop that land, in coordinates of the same city ordinances when they bought the land and when the city was founded. We're not trying to change anything on anybody. I think that's
Sure, but that's where the council comes in. That's where zoning laws come in, and decisions that are made by the council.
Mm-hmm.
Does Copper Canyon have a balanced budget?
I don't know what the actual budget looks like. That's a great question. I do know that from a cash standpoint, it's in a healthy spot right now, which is very important because hopefully that gives us enough wiggle room to do the things we need to do to improve our community and to be in a good footing. But as we grow, there will be more challenges, and so I think having a balanced budget is a very important thing to look forward to as we anticipate some of the growth that will be coming.
And what about the law enforcement? You don't have your own police department, so how are you patrolled?
Correct. The off-duty police officers from Denton County Sheriff's Department come and do some random nightly patrols. If I don't want to speak incorrectly, but I believe there was something that passed where there should be an increased amount of that, but then again, I'm not sure if it was a funding issue or something, but that hasn't quite panned out the way that it was originally designed. I think the citizens of Copper Canyon enjoy having the police around. I don't think we want to be overly burdened and police on every corner. That's part of the charm of Copper Canyon, is the open feel. But there has been just a little low increase uptick in crime reported around the area, and so I think we need to have a little bit better plan on how that's going to happen, because again, we're dependent on other communities and their actual police officers to serve our community.
And you're probably patrolled by Sheriff's Department from time to time. But it is, like you say, it's a low crime area, but in order to keep it that way, you want to make sure
Yes.
that it's properly patrolled.
Yes.
What is the approximate area size of Copper Canyon?
Approximate size is 4.7 miles, square miles.
And the population is around?
Around 1,500, I believe just over 1,500. Anticipated to be just over 2,200, I believe, once a couple of the home developments are finished. So it's going from 1,500 to 2,200 is a pretty good increase in your percentage of population.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah. But it is mostly rural, and that's good. I mean, you have it's a beautiful town. We have some friends that live there, and I love it over there.
Thanks.
We're coming to the close here, so Tim, is there anything you'd like to add before we close?
Sure. I really feel that your town council should really represent the people of whatever town you're representing. So the main reason I'm running is I really do feel like this is what the citizens of Copper Canyon would like to see. They would like to see the flooding get fixed, a steady level of police presence. and most importantly, that there's a minimum acreage required. I think that's very important, and I want to give people that option and represent them.
Well, thank you, Timothy, for coming over for this interview, and it's good to see more and more people getting involved in their town. I want to wish you good luck in the election.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, and thank you for watching.